Hi everyone, this is Tina with Overall Adventures. I'm here today with you for another kind of journaling collection video. So this is 2013. This is my first year out of college. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys each of these journals. So I did all of these in like the end of 2012, 2013. So first I wanted to start with, this is a pseudo journal, I guess. This is from when I did my yoga teacher training. And so it is kind of like a mix of class notes, but it's also, there's just little things in here that I wanted to highlight. So it's like a mix of journaling and notes. So just a couple of things. So this is when I was learning nonviolent communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg. And one thing I wrote that I just love that I found it again is peace cannot be built on foundations of fear. How relevant is that, right? Yeah, so there's like little doodles, learning yoga stuff. What's this? Oh, I thought this was cool. Everything is happening based on needs. So at the center is needs, and then feeling surrounded, and then it's when the judgment comes in. Shouldn't, right, wrong, good, bad, evil, moral things. Yeah, so again, just lots of just pages of notes. Yeah, so this is when I did my 200-hour training, and I did this the summer right after I graduated college. I was actually practicing for my first tattoo. I knew it wanted to be something about Mother Earth. I was just kind of experimenting, and as you can see, I ended up getting it after this teacher training, and this is my handwriting. Fun fact. Yeah, so lots of words. I thought this was cool. So I learned from this yoga class the balance between letting go and commitment, and how this is almost a cycle in itself. I'm really interested in this, and I would like to go back to this at some point. But yeah, lots of how to teach private classes, definitions. I would say this is like, this was my journal for the summer after I graduated, but it's also just a lot of yoga. Little meditations. Again, more tattoo practice. And yeah, just a lot of beautiful words. Business of yoga. This was a good summer. I got like really tiny writing up in here. I tried to read it and I was like, oh. Just little doodles. And just, yeah, my experience. This was a rough, the transition out of college is pretty rough, at least it's definitely for me. So I definitely grounded myself in yoga. Just wanted to show you guys again. So I literally ended up taking one of these, I forget which one, to the tattoo shop and turning it into a tattoo. So that was fun. And just little notes. So right after that summer, I moved to DC. And I ended up joining an AmeriCorps program where I helped people, I helped new immigrants kind of like transition into life in the States. My name is Tina Cody. It's so dramatic. Okay. I don't know why I have this little like lip smacker sticker, probably from a child. So this is really when I started working with kids my first year out of school. Here's my first entry in the real world. I'd say I'm settling. Slowly, feet arrive on the ground. Now I'm sitting in an old red chair in the attic of an old apartment building with a stump in the gravel driveway. Gray Saturday like my t-shirt. The room smells musty. I'm alive and well at 22 years old. Not sure what I want for this first page to look like and taste like on the tongue. I want to say that I have not changed, but I am completely different. Am I? How long is my own confusion going to be funny? Indie music a bit too loud on my laptop. I only write well in silence. Silence. Looking to meditate, regenerate, juvenate, open wide the choo-choo train. Yeah, so this was a rough job for me. I didn't have a lot of structure. We really sat in an office and kind of waited for the kids to be finished with school. And we did our best to help families, but we weren't trained at all, so it was really rough. So it's just so nice to kind of capture these moments. I didn't fill up a lot of the page, but I'm really kind of processing what it's like to be in this world. A lot of repetition. Tina Cody, am a brilliant community gatherer. That was kind of at the time, and I'm an artist. I really wanted to be more focused on communities and social justice. I also started The Artist's Way. So I started to do kind of like her activities, Julia Cameron's activities. And then this is when I began morning pages, actually. So I really started writing steadily, 3 full pages every morning. And you can see my handwriting gets really dense. I can't read most of it now. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness. A lot of processing. So my boyfriend, at the time, he was a year younger, so he was still in college, and I was commuting back and forth to Pennsylvania to see him. So you see, I'm processing really like, what it was like to go from undergrad to the real world, quote unquote, where suddenly art felt really frivolous. It felt like I'm never going to make any money off of this. How can I possibly support myself? And really just kind of struggling with that. More love letters, of course. I went through a phase of composition notebooks. I was getting them for free with the kids that I was working with in DC, and I started kind of collaging them. I love this. I love the way this looks. And this is really when I started actually doing my online collages, because I was so bored in the office that I needed to do something. Those are pictures of my kids. I can't show them, unfortunately, but they're adorable. So yeah, this is really the beginning of my morning pages, and just kind of free flow writing that started happening. I used to drive at 5 in the mornings on Mondays to get back to work, to start at 9 in Washington from Pennsylvania. So this is a funny poem I just wanted to share. My parakeets hate me. A burst of gold, another burst of blue, they travel with me. Chicago, New York City, Long Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Virginia, North Carolina. They spread their seed in the backseat of my car, and I don't even mind. They poop in their water. They wake me up in the morning. They avoid my touch. They flap when I come near. They spill their food in my carpet. All this I don't mind. But when I let them fly, they don't want to. They refuse to leave the cage, you hear? Until I scare them, shake them out. I already hate this poem, even though it's all true. Am I supposed to use prettier language or something? Is it a poem because I demand it to be? Well, where to go? I'm writing because my parakeets hate me, and I don't mind, except I just wish they would want to fly. So I really come into question with everything, what is art? How do I make money? And this is really when I had my kind of first day job, where what I was doing during the day was not what I wanted to be doing with my life. And I was kind of processing that reality of, paying for rent and living alone, missing my boyfriend, and kind of never really settling. I was just so back and forth with him. Lots of anger. I look back on this a couple days ago to kind of mark for you guys, and there's so many signs about this relationship that were not working. I just can't even believe it. This was the first year we dated, and there's just, it's just a hot mess. But we need to experience some things. This was kids. So, I really do believe I needed to experience that relationship, even though it was really toxic and painful for me, honestly. Milk and honey, I ask, why are you here? Lover, is that you? Philosopher God? So, and this is really when I start, my philosophy of relationships. I didn't read this yesterday. I learned that in order to give and receive real love, one must have a lot of courage to give something away that they may not get back. I still believe that. Honesty about everything. What tiny knots creep into your belly at night. And speaking of the night, I try to never sleep if we're having a disagreement, or if I have a knot in my gut. Yes, this usually makes for a lot of late nights, because I had a lot of knots in my gut, you guys, that I ignored. Hot coffee and hot oatmeal. A quiet goodbye kiss with a quiet slump of the shoulders. I'm so tired, Tina. Pang. There goes my guilt meter, skyrocketed up to the moon. Did I do this to him? I don't think he wanted me to feel guilty. I'm realizing why my parents and his parents were so hesitant about us moving in together. without marriage. So that's when we kind of started, he came and kind of lived with me for a little while when he had his breaks, and we were kind of processing what it was like to, start living with someone. Oh, well, I started to do these cool meditations, really intense dreams I had during this time. So I didn't have really a dream notebook back then. It was all kind of mixed. Little sprites dance about my skin as I shift from one moment to the next. A long weekend in the country has left me thirsty and slow to the touch. Why must we work this way? Why must we work this way? If life is about loving and connecting, why must we spend lifetimes starving at a screen or staring at a screen? I don't know. So you can see I'm really just kind of like wrestling. I never really settled. I was sad. This was when I was testing out pens. Life, dreams, and goals. Write and publish a book. Make a theater technique applicable to actors and non-actors. Sell collages. Be a yoga instructor. This was a cool artist way exercise. So how you see yourself in relationship to your dream. So I felt embarrassed, overwhelmed, insignificant, weak, shy, small. Challenges that are blocking me. Comparing myself to others. Fear of failure. Don't know where to start. Not feeling like I'm good enough. Self-doubt. Afraid to leap. Don't have a community. Afraid to network and put myself out there. And then how I see myself after attaining my goal. I think this was like supposed to be a wolf. It looks kind of grapey. But basically just like fierce and like in my eyes. I like that. I usually use that phrase with myself. I want to feel in my eyes. I like this. There's essence at the base of every well. I am essence. The trees are yours, my trees. Everyone has something. Today is about hearing me and me hearing you. Connection, like an electric tube in the brain. In positive, out negative. The mean voice left out my nose with many suitcases. Wilted plants in my room, watered them all. I love you, I love you. So there's lots of contradictions. Didn't really fully finish that. So these two I'm going to kind of show you guys together. Basically, to cope with my life and a job that I really did not like and enjoy, I basically carried around a journal and an idea notebook that I called it. And I needed this for literally to survive at a desk. So if any of you are having really rough desk jobs right now, this was like my saving grace. So I would basically just dream in here throughout the day. So, and I want to bring artists together, have them meet each other, remind them why they're making art, So, what am I doing in my job? What do I do in my free time? And what that's public and invisible or me time. So, and just like little memories, I would also do my own research in the office and try to just keep myself alive. List of things I tell myself that I have to do that I actually dread. So I choose to make money. I choose to spend money. I choose to work. Oh God, that was horrible. I used to work at this child's like play gym for like birthday parties. Oh my goodness. That was bad. Just quotes. So Tina realization. So this was huge for me. I realized that in moving to the real world, I needed to get my basic needs in check. Food, water, shelter. In order to get these, I needed money. And so money, in my view, in my eyes, became a basic need. So what I was struggling with was why couldn't I create as much as I did when I was in college than when I was in the real world? And I realized that I was having so much to process and really had to focus on making money in order to take care of myself and to learn that. Processing what it was like to work with kids that were like really had different upbringings than me. Like I said, this is a weird notebook. YOLO, take a risk. So I was just really looking for a creative outlet. So it's a mix of a journal and notes. I was learning about, trying to balance changes that I wanted to make in my life. My art is worthy to make and be shared. I am an artistic shamaness. I deserve to love my creative energy. Gotcha. Yeah, so lots of little like fun prompts, wish list. Does that hold up? I wish I could buy purple shoes. Oh, I wish I didn't feel guilty spending money. Wish I could start my own organization. Fun. 10 items I would like to own but don't. 5 other lives. If I were 20 and had money. If I was 65 and had money. 10 ways I'm mean to myself. See, I was really like going in it. Going through it. So that's kind of this idea. This is the basis of the idea notebook. Ooh, jealousy map. People I was jealous of. Lennon and Maisie. I was so jealous of them. Why? They're so young and already famous and incredible voices. Action or anecdote. Practice singing. Make a video. Yeah. And similarly, I love this cover. So this was, I kept up this idea notebook. It's basically the same concept. It's like a mix of notes and journaling. Weird images. My boyfriend did write in this. Why does art heal? You know. So yeah, this is, again, just kind of like this notebook that I carried around at all times. So there's like workshop notes in here, letters, of course. Oh, he did a little thing. So I guess we kind of shared it. So this was all of our plannings and moving to Detroit, which is the next chapter, the next video that I'll share with you guys. And we basically made a play about what it was like to tell our family and friends that we were moving to Detroit. So it was the two of us, my boyfriend and I, and we created a whole sketch, a whole play. That looks nice. Coffee. So I guess we kind of shared the notebook at that point and got our reactions from different family and friends. Need to move logistics. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. This was my 2013 journal collection. I hope this was interesting to you. If you have any questions or things you want to run by me, let me know in the comments below. And in the next video, you'll see the year that I lived in Detroit, Michigan, and what that experience was like for me. So thank you so much for joining me. Talk to you soon. Peace.